Good day, everyone. Um, I'd like to present a very simple idea here. So this presentation is going to have a little bit of technology, a little bit of entertainment, and also a little bit of design to go with the theme. And a little bit of how I ended up here. I just briefly tell that and get inside that quickly. When I wanted to start writing lyrics, the first thing I approached many directors and many music directors. I met a lot of lyric writers like Namuthu Kumar, Viveka, so many other people. And the first question they all asked me was, have you published any poetry books? My answer was no. And I started to think as if that it's kind of a requirement to start writing lyrics. And almost for everything in every process that happens in movies, now they have a kind of a process. To shoot a particular scene, they have to have a kind of process. It goes through, they need to have a script, they need to have a proper timeline, they have to have a time log, they have to have a feedback, everything for shooting a simple scene. So why can't we have a kind of process for writing lyrics, for generating lyrics? So how many lyrics, So some definitions for lyrics. So how many lyrics we generate every day, every weekend? We get so many albums being released as movie lyrics or albums or part of some commercials. There are so many ways lyrics are being generated, and basically the definition, what we here give for lyric is, you are given a tune played as an instrument or sung by some professional la-la-la, ta-na-na, something, and then you try to fit in words for a description that's given. It's as simple as that, right? It's as simple as that. You just fit in words for that particular tune to match whatever situation is. There can be very new situations like the hero is falling in love with a girl, something new like that. So, and these are some definitions for engineering. So engineering is considered as it's a process where you apply scientific and mathematical principles to solve, to do designs, and to do a lot of things. So a couple of definitions here on engineering. So this is my idea of proposing lyric engineering, the process of writing or generating lyrics or designing or developing lyrics, applying some science, applying scientific and mathematical principles. Okay, when I tell this, the first question many people ask me is, how can you call lyric developing or lyric writing engineering? How can it be engineering? So is lyric engineering really engineering? A lyric can be seen as a building or as a bridge. As you develop a bridge, as you build a bridge, you have a process over it. And it starts from some requirement. You have a requirement for a bridge, there is a need, and then from there on you start and you do. And you can also see a lyric as a software. So you engineer software. What is software at the end? It's just a few lines of code. A few lines of code that you develop in some computer language. So when we write a lyric, when we develop a lyric or design a lyric in any language, say Tamil or Hindi, English, you again go through a process, a scientific process, have a process to it. All right. So now this is getting a little messy. Seeing lyric writing as an optimization problem. What are we optimizing? It's a mathematical problem. A lyric writing is now a mathematical problem. How? For a given tune and a description, you identify textual placeholders and find words to fit in those placeholders with the following constraints. The constraints are words to exactly fit inside the placeholders. So for instance, you have ta-na-na as a placeholder. You have to fit in mana, tena, something like that, right? So you have to find words that exactly fit in the placeholder, first constraint. The second constraint is a line formed is to be syntactically and semantically correct. So this is a bit harder. Okay, this is where it gets hard because for many, we'll see why. Okay, the third constraint could be maximize the meaning of a line to match the description. So there is a description given for what description and for what tune you will have to write. So the description can be describing nature. How a person loves nature can be a description. So how much meaning can it relate to that particular description is the one. Maximize rhyme. And rhyme is different in different languages. In Tamil, we have this rich kind of rhymes where we have 3 types of rhymes here. We have edugai, monai, and iaibu. Wherein in English, a rhyme just means the maximum substring match of the end letters. Like if the last letters, how many ever they match, that's all. So if you say 5 and dive, they both match, right? But in Tamil, you have 3 different types of rhymes, where the first letter match, the second letter match, and the last letter match, right? So maximize freshness of a lyric. How can you call a lyric fresh? How will you tell a lyric is fresh? So how will you give it can you give a lyric a score? How will you tell it's fresh? And how can you maximize the pleasantness of a lyric? How can you call a lyric pleasant? So you must have heard so many songs. You might have said, it sounds so pleasant to the ears. These lines, even without the music, when just reading these lines through, it just gets inside you. You feel so pleasant about it. But can you model that pleasantness? That's the question. Can you give that pleasantness a mathematical value, a formula? Is what this is where I started with lyric engineering. These were the questions which I had in mind. So developed a kind of a simple framework. This is for a generation framework. We just have 4 different areas, as you can see. The first area is the music to template. So first you have a music. The music is going to have any tune and played as a MIDI or played as some voice, something. And you have to convert that to ABC notes, or you convert to whatever pattern you have to have. And then there is another portion called lyric analysis. I'll just go inside each of these very quickly. We have a lyric analysis framework where we analyze the history of lyrics. So all the lyrics that have been penned so far. And you analyze those lyrics for various things, like various patterns, I'll tell what. And then we have the lyric generation part. So the generation part is where a lyric is being generated based on the constraints got. And then finally, we have an evaluation point where the lyrics are being scored and you get the lyric out. So this is the general framework which I was able to develop. The lyric analysis I talked about, right? There is this I introduced as a new area, lyric mining. This is the first time we are mining lyrics, okay? For what? So if the first line of a lyric ends with Bhumi, what's the probability of the next line to end with Sami? Okay, this is a very, very simple question. So lyric mining is the process of analyzing lyrics for interesting patterns. What are all the patterns that people have been using in the past? So what are all more interesting? So if you are X, then I am Y. You have at least 1,000 lyrics with this pattern. Okay, so a simple example, nee nilavanal nan megam. So, or nee kaatranal nan malar. So many different things you can identify with this particular pattern if you are X and then I am Y. So find the number of lyrics containing this pattern and finding the most common XY pairs. This is another kind of, these are just 2 questions. We have 1,000 questions, so 1 million questions we can ask with lyrics. Okay, so identify so many different patterns that people have been using over and over again, reusing the same thoughts, reusing the same styles. You must have heard a lot of songs. Nee kaatru naan maram nee enna sollalum thalaiyattuven. Or we also heard another song in the morning session, Putham Pudu Bhumi Vendum, Nitham Uruvanam Vendum. So you can all classify these songs as some template-based songs. These songs have a template, they have a pattern. So how do we extract those patterns from the lyrics? This is what lyric mining does for you. So we do a lot of statistical analysis. Sorry, if you can't read it, I'll just show. These are all the Tamil characters, Tamil alphabets that we have. And as you can see, we just did a frequency analysis of all the Tamil characters that we've been using. Okay, so these are all from 2.5 lakh Tamil words. 2.5 lakh unique Tamil words is from what we get this particular statistic. And as you can see, Pa, the letter Pa, has the highest frequency. So 7.62% of our language has the letter Pa. So we do a lot of analysis. The very interesting part of this analysis is we have 29 alphabets in our language that we never use, which have 0, which we don't use in part of any of the words. Okay, so this is one kind of analysis. This is another interesting one, statistical analysis of word usage in lyrics. This is specific to Tamil. As you can see, yen, ni, nan, un, oru, kadal, ennai, illai, enne. So this is the ranking. So the first rank is yen. That's the most commonly used word. And kadal is in number 6. Iru is in number 100. Bhumi is in 69. So you can just look at these things. There were interesting thing. I posted this on my blog. And immediately, in the next 10 minutes, one of my friend wrote a lyric, a big lyric, just using these words. No other words. So if you'll be able to generate lyrics, you'll be able to write lyrics just using these 100 words, so many different combinations. We don't use most of the words that we have. So that's one sad fact. Why we're doing this is, again, to go to the freshness I was talking about. How fresh a lyric is. How minimum of these commonly used words does a lyric use, right? So we can do more statistics. I'm not getting more statistics here. We can have rhyme patterns. What are the most common rhyme patterns that we have, like the Sami, Bhumi, Vira, Nila, Kanne, Penne, Manne, things like that, okay? And lyric sentence patterns, like if I want to be X, you want to be Y, kind of patterns. What are frequent patterns? Frequent co-occurrence of words. What two words occur together more frequently, kind of things. And concept reuse. What are the concepts that are being reused over and over again? How can you identify things as concepts, modeling them as concepts? So when we go for modeling, this is another proposal that I bring into, object-oriented Tamil. Okay? So when we are talking about Tamil as a language, we see all the alphabets, characters, words. Can we model the language as objects? Each and every alphabet is an object. Each and every word is an object combining certain things. And each character has a property. For instance, Tamil is a very beautifully designed language. That's another reason behind it. So for each alphabet, there is something called a meter length associated with it, which is on paper, which is specified in the grammar books, okay, many thousand years back. So how can we represent a lyric as just an object containing stanzas, containing sections, containing words, containing letters? So this is one model which we use basically to do a lot of analysis and computing. So this is another tool that I developed. This one took 5 hours for me to write. So it's just a few thousand lines of code. And see, you give tanan, is just the pattern. It's just the pattern for a particular tune. And you just get entered. And in just at 0.2 seconds, it gives all these other words. Membalam, Maimalam, Makolam, Pechalar, Purvikam, Punjalam, Nirganal, Teimanam, Tirmanam, Tikayam. So these are the words for this particular pattern. So there is one beautiful song in Minnale movie, I don't know, many of you would remember. Varthai vara kathirukkum kavinjan illaya. There will be a line, it's one of my favorite lines. But actually, what it means is like the poets wait for a word to come, right? But the problem is I didn't have much time to wait for words. So I had to hurry up with delivering things. I want to choose the right word. I want to see all the possible words and just get the right set of word for the right set of occasion. So this is one I used for the Teimanam. You can see the Teimanam there. I used this one in the irumbil lyric for the Indian song. When I needed some particular thing for this Tananan pattern, I got this one from here. So Mayam, you can go for Eduga, Iyaibu, and Matharai. So you get Layam, Mayam, Neyam, Dayam, Sayam, Gayam, Iyam, Ayam. So I can go and tell the director, these are all the available words. I can't use any word more than this to match the second lyric. Now, this can't... So this is the difference between a lyric writer and a lyric engineer. A lyric writer can't tell this. A lyric engineer can tell this because he has proof, right? And yeah, we have more. Synonym, usage, and pleasantness. So you have Gajam, Varanam, Madangam, Vedam, Madiram, Kadabam. So for those of you who don't know about this, they all mean the same thing. They all mean elephant in Tamil. So for elephant we have I've put 6. We have more words, right? I've just put 6. And you can see what's the usage. The Payanbadu and Voliotam, you have 2 different things. The Payanbadu talks about how people use that particular word on internet, on social media, and everything. It just gives a score. And the Voliotam talks about how pleasant the word is to tell. These are the scores that we give to these words. Now you can see Varanam has a huge Payanbadu, 94% Payanbadu, thanks to Varanam Ayiram, the movie. Okay, so when people start using words, the words get more popular, people start using it more, they know the meaning of the words. So these are the different kind of synonyms that we have. Now, if I want to represent Yanai somewhere, and I want to use the right meter for Yanai, I want to fit Yanai here. Which meter? So for this particular meter, which word of Yanai will come and sit in this particular meter is what this thing is going to help you. And you can also talk about to the music director. The music director is very specific about how the word sounds. Okay, more interested, more than the meaning. They're more interested in how the word sounds to the ears, how pleasant they are. Now you have a model to tell this word's more pleasant than this. How we talk about the pleasantness, I'll talk about it in a moment. So we have more tools working on these things. We have a morphological analyzer, we have a generator, we have a sentence parser, we have a wordnet builder, we have a word association miner, concept relation extractor, and many more. A genre. How would you say what genre a lyric belongs to? A lyric belongs to, just by listening to it. Listening to it, it's not possible. So you might have heard this old song, the Kaviyama, Ninjinoviyama, the way they have sung and the music and everything. Even my mother thinks that's a very depressing song, but actually it's a romantic duet. Okay? So you can't, there are different types of genre. The music genre is totally different, a lyric genre is totally different. How we can classify lyric genre is another project that we are working on. Right? This is the lyric evaluation part. We come to the end. We have relevancy scores, pleasantness scores, freshness scores, and rhyme scores. There are 4 different scores that we propose. One, you can see the pleasantness score for different songs. Alayamaniyin, Enna Yaar Endru, Kadal Siragai, Naan Pesa Ninaipadellam. So each have different scores. Andru Vandadu Madenila is the maximum score among this thing. It has a 45% score here. And you can, so how this is done, how this pleasantness is done is you can see a simple picture there, down there. You can't read, I know. But it's from which part of your articulation point, which articulation point you use to utter a certain word, a certain phoneme is what's we are using. That information is using. Nasals carry more score because nasals have more things, and long vowels have a more pleasantness score. And whenever you have a blockade, say mahal, mahal is a word, and makkal is another word. Which one sounds most sweet? Magal sounds more sweet. Why? Because it doesn't have those blocks of ik in it. The ik actually stops the flow of saying a word. So these are the things that we model and we give it a score. And we think. So similarly, freshness, rhyme, and each and everything will get its own score. Similarly, like any engineering product, lyric also has its own stages. It starts from it goes through many stages, from like requirement analysis, understanding situation, genre, tune, and more. Lyric structure design, generation, evaluation. You have to evaluate a song, get feedback, and things like that. Okay. So what's not possible, right? So the last one, it'll tell you. So we try to do a lot of things. So where we were got stuck is when we wanted to generate junk words, like jumbalaka or randaka, homa hazia. Computer crashes. That's the power of human brain. So that was a joke. We can actually do it also. So this is just a sample lyric. I'm just finishing with this one. So yeah, we can. Yeah, that one should be fine. Do you have the audio? Go to the middle portions. Just listen to the. this before? No? Yes? So this was you're probably the very first to hear this song after me, Director Shankar and Rahman. Okay, this was the first tune that was given for Irumbil idhayam. This was the first tune that we have. So you can see in the song, can we go to the last slide, please? Last but one. Here, next one. Yeah. So as you can see, all the words that he had put, all the dummy words he had put, like something like scientific experimentation, you know what it's, C, permutation, combination, calculation, blah, blah, blah. So all these things, was the actual tune that was given. And so this one was the first song which we ever lyric engineered, purely, okay? Try to capture the sound, try to understand the mood of the sound, and try to analyze what words to put in which, so which are the best possible set of words that will give the maximum sound and maximum pleasantness. And there are so many different things, We first penned this entire song using no English words, for purely in Tamil, okay? So most of the things, then we changed certain things alone to English. And so many different things. So the Echililla and then Muttam Sarchain Rikulvaya and the Google Galkana, the Thedalgal Innode. So all these things, mapping the sounds, which sounds better. We actually also had Irobo Unkadila I Love You Solata, I Baby Ninjakul Bullatai Selata is what first we actually had. Then we had to remove those things because the Bullatai Selata actually reduces a kind of pleasantness to the thing, and we had to repeat with Irobo Unkadila I Love You Solata. So all these things, the sounds, the phonemes, what phonemes we use, and so many different things we were able to do with a kind of a lyric engineering approach. So I'm happy to present you the first song, and I'm also very happy that this song is still in #1 in many charts online. And thank you. So this is after months after release of the movie and many months after release of the song album. So it's still in #1 position, and I was very happy to get many reviews from around the world telling that this is their most favorite song of the century. Many different reviews I received, people from the point of lyrics. They are people who appreciate lyrics. They actually gave very good reviews for this particular song. I was very happy that the first lyric engineering song got very well appreciated and very well acknowledged around the world. Thank you very much for the...